What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to part 3 in our video series of how to record a song for beginners. Quick recap. So in video 1, we went over everything that you need in order to get started up and recording an actual scratch track that we could start building the rest of our song off of. In video 2, I showed you guys a couple different ways that you can add drums to your song. So we went over doing drums on a MIDI keyboard using a free plugin called Expand 2. And I also went through using a mic'd up drum kit and recorded drums that way as well. So in today's video, what I'm going to do is we're going to go over the couple different ways that you can add bass to your song. So the next order of operations after we have the drums is the bass. And I'll show you guys a couple different ways that we can do that. So I will leave a link in the description below for a plugin that you can use if you want to do bass on your MIDI keyboard again, and it's free to use. And I will also show you guys how to plug in an actual bass into your interface and record it that way. Now, if you guys are just jumping onto this video in the middle of the series here and you haven't seen the other ones, I will leave a link right up here to the full playlist so you can start from the beginning and kind of get caught up and go from there. So now I'd like to jump into Pro Tools and let's get started on adding the bass. Okay, so we're back in our DAW here. We're in Pro Tools and this is what we have so far. Now what I did, these tracks down here, I made these micro. These are the recorded drums. I have these all on mute. I'm just using the MIDI drums for now. And then we have our scratch track here. So the first thing that we got to do is we got to add a new track for our bass. So now this is doing the actual bass plugged into the interface. So you're going to want to plug your bass into the interface in one of your inputs and make sure that you have instrument selected. Okay? And then you're going to want to adjust your gain knob so that the bass coming through is about 50 to 75% of the way up the meter. So now that we've added this audio track, we're going to rename this bass. Okay. Perfect. All right. Now, we're going to change this to input 1 because that's what I have it plugged into. And we're going to listen and make sure that we're between that, 50 to 75%. So we're nice right where we need to be. You don't want to be too loud here. I'll give you guys an example. If you turn this up too loud, you're going to get this. See how it sounds really distorted? And you might even go too far to the point where you clip like this. See? So we got this red light turned on here. That's not what you want to do. So you only need about 50 to 75% of the way. So make sure you adjust your gain knob so that when you play, that's a perfect level. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to have our scratch track playing and we're going to record our bass over top of the scratch and the drums here. Okay? So when you guys are ready to do that, you're going to get record enabled and then you're going to hit play. Now remember, when you're recording this, you want to try to do through the whole song. Now I'm only doing bits and pieces because this is just for educational purposes. But even if you make mistakes, try to play through the whole version of the song and you can kind of go back and edit things as needed. So I got record enable ready. I got to record enable my bass track here. And then I'm going to have a 2-bar count off with my click track. So I'm going to make sure my click track is no longer muted. I'll have my 2 bars and then I can start playing. Okay, so now we have a good bass line recorded using our actual bass guitar. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on solo. I'm going to go back and listen to it. Okay, so you guys heard right there in the middle I hit a wrong note. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a loop from this section here, and I'm going to hit Control Copy, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this loop right here where I messed it up. Let's make sure that's all okay. And then I'm going to hit Control E, and now I can delete this section. And then if I have this selected right here and I hit Control V, it's going to put my new section in. So now let's listen from here. Perfect. All right. So then, now we have a good recorded bass track here. We just fixed this little spot here. It's that easy. This is why it's good. Again, you want to make sure you're on grid mode so that when you copy and paste everything, it's locked into the click track and you're not going to have anything kind of come off of beat. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you guys is how to do a MIDI bass setup. Okay, now for adding MIDI bass, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new track now. So we're going to go to track new. And now anytime you do anything on MIDI, you want to do stereo, and it's going to be an instrument track. Okay? So we're going to create this. All right, we're going to have this new channel here, and we're going to call this bass MIDI. Okay? All right, now there's no input on this because it's using the MIDI. However, we have to now assign a plugin for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this, and this is, I'm going to put the link in the description on how to download this, but we're going to go to multi-channel plugins, and then we're going to go to instrument, and then it's called Ample Bass P Light Style 2. Okay, so now you can see this has a bass guitar here. If we record enable this and we start hitting some keys. Okay, so we're still gonna do the same thing that we did with our regular bass. So we're gonna look at these levels, and this is a little bit higher than what I'm looking for. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here on the master volume on the guitar, and we're gonna bring this down a little bit. Okay, so now we're better in that 50 to 75% range. So we're good to go there. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to listen to, now I want to make sure I want to mute this other bass because we're not really using this here, just to make things easier on the eyes. I'll put that as micro as well. So we have our guitar scratch, we have our drums, and now I'm going to add the bass on the keyboard as well, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to record enable this, make sure I'm at the beginning. Now remember, I'm going to have my 2 bars, because I have the count off on, and then I'll be ready to start recording. So let's get her going. So we made a couple mistakes there at the end, but that's okay. So what we're going to do here is, like I said, I like the first half. Over here, the second half, I did make a couple of mistakes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drag this in, and I'm just going to do the first half of it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy D to duplicate it. And then let's go back and listen to it. Okay, so now you guys have a better idea of a couple different ways that you can add bass to your song. Again, either one of these will work. One's not necessarily better than the other. It just depends on what your capabilities are, what you have available to you, and what your preferences are. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be going over how to add guitars, which is pretty similar to the way that we added the bass or the scratch track. However, there's a couple little tricks that I'll show you guys as well that's going to make your guitar sound a lot clearer and kind of stand out more in your final mix. So if you guys got any value out of this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Also be sure to hit that bell so you can get notified on when I add new videos. Again, I will add another link to the playlist that these How to Record a Song for Beginners are in. I'll post that right up here. And until next time, I will see you guys soon, and thanks for all the support.